hello, and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland, and Andre the Ferret has decided to run around just as I've began to record my voice. So there you go. This is going to be a let me bore you to sleep session. Only listen to this or watch the video on YouTube or my website when you can safely close your eyes. And I was going to say there may be background sounds, but there already is, which is a little bit annoying because I've been working trying to get the sound on the recorder a little bit better by, readjusting the knobs and trying to get there seems to be, like in some of the previous recordings, a little bit of a humming sound in the background, and I've kind of put it down to the fridge in the kitchen, which it can be a little bit of that, but there definitely seemed to be a bit more going on as far as the recording. So I'm figuring it's going to record me at a lower volume, but I can increase the volume in editing. So hopefully it should work out okay. If there's still a hum at part of the session, then there's a hum. I'm working on it. I'm giving it a go, as it were. So today it's Monday, I think now. I think it's gone midnight. It's about 1 o'clock or something. What time is it? It's 1:42 in the morning on Monday morning. But as far as I'm concerned, it's still Sunday because I have not gone to bed. The day ends when I go to sleep. That's how I think most people really think that way, don't they? So tomorrow or later today, I will make the hypnotic buffet, which I do every Monday, and that will be available. And you can also download free the Android app on Google Play, and it's available. The link's everywhere. It's in my description box. It's on my website, and it's quite easy to find. I'd quite like to have an app for all the different things that I do, but I can't afford to. I had to save up for that one, and I suppose it'd be quite nice to have an app for these Let Me Bore You to Sleep sessions, because I've done quite a few of them now. I think this is the 36th one, I think. But often when I say that, I quite often seem to come up with a different number to what is real. But it's over 30. I think it's 36. So the whole point really of these Let Me Bore You to Sleep sessions is I just talk and talk and talk about either nothing or very little, a lot about a little, or it could be a focused session which is really aimed at sleeping. So it could be a mixture, it could be a mixture of distraction, could be a mixture of focus, but it's always focus because whenever you listen to my voice, you're focusing on my voice. And I'm mentioning Andre in the background eating his dry food. And you can probably hear him. And when he does eat it, I think he scoffs it down and then he has to kind of sneeze it back up again. It's a bit weird. I've never seen anybody eat and sneeze at the same time. But he's happy enough. I think he's had quite a good day, really. I took him out earlier this evening and visited a friend and took him into the garden, with a friend's garden, and he got a bit of attention and he seemed pretty happy. It was a beautiful sneeze and see. It was a beautiful summer evening and the temperature was just perfect, really, as far as being outside. The t-shirt, just, it was a lovely evening. What surprised me though is when I got round there, and it was probably about 8:30-ish time, and within about 20 minutes it was dark. So it was light outside, and then within 20 minutes it was dark outside. I just couldn't believe it. It was like so quickly. Now that's just the tip of the iceberg of boredomdom that I'm going to introduce to you today. I suppose the best example really would be, when you're talking to someone, maybe you've gone to a party, or it's a dinner, luncheon, or it's a wedding or something like that. Maybe it's a company do, a ball or something like that, and you get sat next to somebody that you don't know, and for whatever reason you just find yourself being really, really bored by the person. And it's not necessarily anybody's fault. It's, we all have our own interests, and but you might meet someone and their sole interest is maybe butterflies or kitchen tiles. That might be their fascination in life. That might be the thing that they really know loads about and that give them pleasure, and they'd like to discuss these hobbies or topics or obsessions with whoever they meet. And I'm kind of one of them. I've had to learn over the years that other people aren't really interested in what in what I'm interested in. I'm interested in hypnosis. I'm interested in this kind of thing, and I don't have any friends that I've got the slightest bit of interest in it. So I learned years ago to stop talking about it to people, because I could find that I'd be talking to them and their eyes would glaze over. The eyes would just literally glaze over, and you could see that, sometimes it was as if they were struggling to keep their eyes open. Because when I talk to someone, I do look at them. My friend said that I overlook. I kind of, what did my friend say? He said that bless Andre and his sneeze. They're loud sneezes, but they are the cutest little sneezes ever. I love his sneezes. I love everything about him, but I just love his little sneezes. So their eyes would glaze over, and then it's as if they're really struggling to keep their eyes open, and all I was doing was just telling them about hypnosis and the things I'd learnt and the experiences I'd had, because I've been doing this for over 20 years and 6 months. It was January 1998 when I first got involved and started studying hypnosis. So it's been a while. And it seems to be that not everybody's as interested. And I feel what does my friend say, that I kind of insist on eye contact, I think he said. And I never really thought of myself in that way. I kind of the opposite to, if some people can't look into the eyes of another person. I'm the opposite. I struggle not to look into their eyes because it gives so much information, potentially. And because I'm not a liar, although I do make stuff up, but that's in recordings and that's me just being silly. I make silly stories up sometimes and exaggerate, but not when I'm being serious. But if I do say something silly in real life, I try and make it absurd so the other person knows that I'm just joking. I don't sort of tell lies to deceive other people or to gain some kind of financial gain, gain financial gain. I was trying to think of a better word than gain, because I'd already used it when I said gain. To make financial gain or to take advantage of somebody's good nature or financial resources. So I'm kind of quite a boring person then, I suppose, in that way. And I learnt that, but I also noticed when other people were perhaps boring others, I'd observe, I'd notice it. And how much of that is to do with the other person who's being bored actually perhaps has other things on their mind that they want to do, or maybe they want to talk about their interest. So, a boring conversation from the outside could be a really interesting conversation for the two people talking to each other if they're both talking about the same subject that they both love. So if you're into kitchen tiles, for example, if you meet another person that's into kitchen tiles, you could have a brilliant time discussing all the different designs, the history of different, kitchen tiles and the ceramics, the old factories that used to make them, maybe the original cutting machines and the various artexes that we use to stick the kitchen tiles onto the kitchen wall, and all the different patterns and flowers and the various price ranges, I guess, because there are going to be some kitchen tiles that are really, really expensive and are maybe got gold interwoven within the ceramic, or maybe it's not made of ceramic, maybe it's made of some kind of china kind of material. I'm not sure what China is. You know, like China teacups. I know what China is. It's a place where people live. But not everybody lives there, but quite a few people. But this isn't really about geography. This is more about, it's not really about kitchen tiles so much, but we've all got our interests, and when you meet someone that's just talking, and they don't even have to be talking slowly, or you know, they could be talking quickly. Notice how I whistle then when I say quickly. Quick. I can't whistle when I try to. Quickly. It's a bit like trying to fart. You know, you're trying to impress someone on the first date, and you're trying to fart and it won't come out. It's just like the rest of the time, farting's easy, natural, always available. Always got a little spare bit of gas inside waiting to pop out. But on that first date, wanting to impress that woman of my dreams, no farts available. So, ceramic tiling, kitchens, even if the person's talking in a really excitable way, it still can be boring for the recipient of that uninteresting information, uninteresting to them, not to the person that's talking to them. So I don't say I discovered this as if I'd found the lost ark. You know, it's not quite that. You know, so it's not like I found the other 12 commandments. You know, there's actually 24, but I found the other one, the other 12. You know, I didn't nothing like that. It's just, it's kind of, I think, having bored enough people over the years, I started to realise that no one's really interested in anything I've got to say when it comes to the things I'm interested in, as far as those people that I know. But there's also the other side where, when I was younger, I didn't feel that what I had to say was actually worthwhile or valid, when of course it was. Everybody's words are as valid as anybody else's. Anybody's opinions are just as important as the next person's. Although that's hard to accept, I suppose, for some people who struggle to let go of their own limiting beliefs that are holding them back, even though actually by relaxing, those beliefs can start to loosen and kind of fall away. Now, I just talk about whatever it is I talk about, and it's not always hypnosis, it's just me talking about my life. And sometimes the best way for you to gain the best from this experience is to allow yourself to relax. So don't think of this as an action movie. Try to get that out of your mind. Don't think of it as there's no car chases, there's no spaceships, no planets getting blown up. There's nothing like that. No water skiing, no love scenes. There's no love scenes. There's no mining. There's It's not even a table with a bowl of soup on, you know. There's not even that. I mean, I know that wouldn't be part of an action scene in a film, you know, a bowl of soup on a table, but it's not even that exciting. And it's not really supposed to be exciting. The whole point is that the more you listen to my sessions, these let me bore you to sleep sessions, the more you notice that as you start to listen to my voice, you have that familiar feeling of relaxation and tiredness start to spread throughout your body and mind, and everything seems to just slow down, which is quite groovy, really. I do like the word groovy. It's a bit like gravy, but with more of an ooh. I don't know what that means. Groovy. Would you like groovy on your roast potatoes? Don't you mean gravy? Yes, I do, but I'm trying to be groovy with my gravy. Could I please see the manager? I don't like your attitude. That might go that way, depends. I haven't been in a restaurant for so long. I was watching Gordon Ramsay the other night. One of his, you know, where he rescues restaurants. I don't mean, you know, he's not in a helicopter and a restaurant sinking into the sea and he's rescuing it that way and it's like another action movie. No action movie. But I do quite like it, actually. I don't know why. There's something about the emotions involved, maybe. Gordon Ramsay definitely seems able to gain access to people's emotions quite quickly. I nearly whistled again. Quickly, quite quickly, quite quickly. Wouldn't it be funny if someone, is that this image that someone presses the stop button on this, saying, oh, that's just boring, and getting angry because it's boring, it's too boring. Wouldn't that be funny? You imagine someone getting all uptight and angry because this recording called Let Me Bore You to Sleep is too boring. All he does is just talk about nothing, and it's just really boring and tedious and pointless, and you know, I've struggled to keep track of what he's saying because none of it's really that relevant to anything. And he's talking about action movies and kitchen tiles all in the same sentence. How can this be possible? Why doesn't he do something more productive with his time? Well, this is probably the most productive thing that I could do with my time, apart from all the other things I could do that might be more productive. It's not the only thing I do, you know. I do other things. At the moment I've got a routine. It's not much of a routine, but the only real, I've got four, I don't know, I'll go through the different routines. So I start from when I get up. get up in the morning, and usually my bladder wakes me up. I don't mean, literally, taps on my belly. Oi, Jason, get up out of bed. No, I don't mean, I wake up and I know that it's, the first thing I'm thinking of is to go to the toilet. This has become probably a bit more prominent over the last, 18 years. It's been a while. It's not really anything that new. I think needing to go to the toilet, getting up, in the morning or whenever you've had a decent amount of sleep, is sort of natural to, I can't imagine it, having ever gotten up out of bed after being asleep for 7 or 8 hours and not going to a toilet. Never woken up and thought, my bladder's fine. I'll go this evening. I'll wait till this evening, then I'll go. No, it never happened. Never. Unless it has happened and I didn't write it in my diary, so it couldn't have been that important. Although there was, I want to tell you this, but I want to make sure I can come back to my routine. Because I think it's the right level of boredom. It's back in 1997, I had this agency work, and I had no money, so everything was kind of a bit weird. So I didn't have any money for food. So I had this day of work in this agency, and the job was, it was like in a place that used to rent like bouncy castles and things like that for public events. So I was there, and I think I started at about 7:30 in the morning, and I didn't go to the toilet the whole day until I got home, probably about 5 or 6 in the evening, and it was a hot summer's day, and I didn't go to the toilet once. I'll admit I didn't write that in my diary, but I've never forgotten it. It's one of my most urine-free days. It's one of the longest periods of time I've ever gone whilst awake without needing to do a wee-wee. Anyway, so when I get up, I get up out of bed. Sometimes I'll lay there and I'll think, do I want to get up? Can I be bothered to get up? I'm feeling tired, feeling sleepy. I do sometimes make those noises. But then I kind of gauge the situation, and I'm too old to be wetting the bed. So I get up every day. And of course what happens next depends upon the weather. It might sound weird, you might think, well, surely don't I have a roof on my building? I do. I've got windows and walls and everything, kitchen tiles, general stuff. But if it's the winter, it's, I don't have the heating on at night or when I'm in bed I don't have the heating on. So part of my little routine is to put a dressing gown on, walk to the door of the bedroom door, walking out of the bedroom door, turn the heating on, generally till it clicks. So usually I put it on about 17, 18. Then I go into the bathroom, I do a wee, pee-pee, a sprinkle, a splatter, a tinkle, whatever you wanna call it really. Empty the hose pipe. Drain the tap. I don't know what it's. Bang the dust out of me Wellington boots. I don't know, whatever you want to use as an example for urination. And so I do that, and then what I do, I go back. And no, I go into the kitchen. So I turn right and I walk into the kitchen, and sometimes I look around. I suppose I've missed a few steps. Sometimes, I don't mean literally steps as in right, left, left, right, middle, right, left, right. Sometimes I do look into the mirror in the bathroom. So I've got 2 mirrors, well, technically 3 mirrors. So I've got a big mirror on a door, which used to be the airing cupboard, but it's no longer. There's still air in there, but hasn't got a boiler thingy that it used to have. So in there I keep my stocks, like toilet paper and face wipes that I use. It's weird to put the 2 places, one end of the body. So toilet paper, also moist wet wipes, toilet wipes, shampoo. So I stock up, so I have plenty there for a few months. What else have I got? Toothpaste, got quite a few toothpastes, quite a few soaps. I've got probably about 20 plus soaps, deodorants, a few cans of deodorant, probably about 5 or 6 or 7. Mouthwash as well, I've got a few of those. And so it's, I've got also refuge bags, black bags for the rubbish. So I've got a couple of rolls of those as well in there. And that's on one shelf. The shelf above it, which is collapsing, I don't even know why it's collapsing, because there's not a great deal of weight on it. But that's just a few like blankets and stuff up there. And also I put my bags for life up there as well. So I've got 2 bags for life. Well, actually I think I've got 3. Well, I might have 4, but only 2 that I use, because I think what happened is, yeah, that's right, I actually got a bag for life, which was at Christmas, from Iceland. I don't mean the country, the shop. I don't know if you have Iceland where you live. We have it's a store, and they sell frozen stuff. So the majority of, I say the majority, I don't even know if it is, yeah, it probably is actually, the majority of the food items in Iceland are frozen. So if you go into my standard store, the one that's closest to me, there's quite a few freezers. I'll go through that anyway. I'll tell you I'll describe the outlay of the floor and everything. So I think it was probably January, February time. I went into Iceland and I said to them, look, I've got these bags for life. They cost me 50p each. And the idea is you keep the bags, and when they wear out, you can replace them. They'll replace them and it won't cost you anything. So a bag for life. And I said to them, look, I've invested £1 of my, well, I can't use the word hard-earned money because I don't work, but I've spent £1 of other people's hard-earned money on these 2 bags for life. And I said, I'm pleased with them. This is to the cashier. There was a queue, but they all seemed fairly okay. I looked in each of their eyes and they seemed as if they were okay with me having this discussion. There was one person with a bottle of cider waiting to buy, and I think maybe she was in a hurry, but I wasn't there for a long time, long enough to have to sit down. And I said, I really appreciate what you and your colleagues, and I think it was Brenda that sold me these bags, and it was around the beginning of December last year, so probably, if I remember, I don't think it was the 1st, I don't think it was the 2nd of December 2017, I don't think it was the 3rd of December 2017, I don't think, it might have been the 4th or the 5th of December 2017. I'm pretty sure it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday. That's kind of in the ballpark area. And the lady in the cashier said that she didn't need that much information, and there's a lot of people waiting to be served. And I said, okay. So I continued to talk at her, and I said, I really appreciate all the work you do, and I appreciate the idea behind giving me these bags for life. I understand it was a financial commitment on my part to pay for these bags, and so I've taken a leap of faith, really, in Iceland, sorting out their half of the deal, really. So when my bags for life start to wear, start to fray, because I do fill them up quite heavy. I try and even things out. So for example, I do like cans of Coke. I'm not trying to cut down at all, but it sounds good if I say that. So yeah, I'm trying to cut down. So if I get, let's say, some frozen stuff, maybe a couple of packs of Coke, some vegetables. That's not very, very often, but yeah, let's pretend I get vegetables. Lots of vegetables and fruit. 1,000 bananas a day, and I try and even them out so that each bag has kind of the same weight. But it's very important, I find, to put the soft things at the top. For example, bread, to put that at the top of the bag. otherwise, by the time I get home, I remember once I put the bread at the bottom, and then I put a big box of cat food, which I give Andre, on top of the bread, and then on top of that a couple, I think a pack of 6 cans of Coke, and I also used the bag as a seat while I was waiting for the bus. And I was surprised to see that the bread had really gone flat. It was very unspreadable, if you know what I mean. I don't know, I don't like to be picky, but sandwiches, just, there's a certain shape that sandwiches should be, and I think the sandwich shouldn't look like a mushroom shape, the sandwich, just, or I don't know, burnt marshmallow, you know what I mean. So I'm not sure where I think I partly learnt to do that, to put the bread on top, because I used to work in the Co-op, which is like a grocery store, when I was 17. So that's 31 years ago nearly. Well, 30. It was 30 years ago. Let's have a look. What are we now? July. So I started working in the Co-op, I think it was April 1988, when I was still 17. And I've worked there April, May, June, probably till the end of July. It was around this kind of time that I stopped working there. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So I kind of learned a little bit about how to pack bags, and also things like eggs. There's a few things that I learned about eggs. I don't learn about eggs, I mean, I don't know much about eggs at all, really. I don't know why I mentioned it, but you need to be careful with eggs. I never used to check them, because the problem with checking eggs for a customer is if the eggs are broken, you have to sort of go and get new eggs, and it's a lot of hassle. So generally I wouldn't do that, but try and put the eggs on top as much as possible, but not so much on top that they fall out of the bag, because in some ways the eggs falling on the floor and smashing is worse in some ways than a couple of them being crushed underneath the bag of cement or whatever it is that they've bought, that you put into that bag. So, and also try and keep the eggs in the container. Don't take them out of the container and juggle with them. Apparently that's frowned upon. So many rules. I struggled a little bit, and it wasn't in the rule book. No juggling of the produce. Oh, great. Close the door when you use the toilet. Just those kind of things. Wash your hands after, like anyone washes their hands. So I was saying to the cashier, if I feel a little bit embarrassed, because the bags that I'm using are Christmas bags. They've got Christmas all over them. They've got, the word Christmas and pictures, and I think there was pictures of Christmassy stuff. And I said, I've got no issue with Christmas. I'm brought up to celebrate Christmas. that's how I've been raised. You know, it's just part of my heritage. She looked at me and she said, I don't mean to be rude, but you've been talking for quite a while now. It's nearly time for me to go home, but we've still got all these customers that are waiting, and I think they're getting a bit restless. She whispered in my ear. She actually didn't say it out loud, she whispered it. I thought, I wonder if she likes me. I wasn't sure, I never can tell. Unless someone jumps out of a plane and a parachute says, Jason, I like you on it. I've really, I need like an obvious statement of intent, really, I guess. I said, okay, I'll just cut to the chase, because I've always wanted to say that to somebody. I'll cut to the chase. I've never actually ever heard anybody say it in real life. Seen it in movies, seen it on American TV shows. Never actually heard anybody say it out loud in a conversation in public. And I wanted to be the first. I wanted to be a maverick of that phrase. Let's cut to the chase. What did she say? I forget if she said it or I said it, one of us. And I said, can I have some different bags? She said, that's 50 pence each. I said, well, can I just swap these bags for the generic green swirly bags that you have? And she said, why, what's wrong with the bags you got? And I said, well, they've got Christmas on them. She said, yeah, but are they worn? Because really, generally, we only replace the bags for life if the bags that you already have, that you've purchased, are worn out. And I said, please, can you swap the bags for me? And she looked at me. She said, yes, I can do that for you. And I will always remember that moment, because as I went to stand up from the chair, and I picked the chair up and I stubbed my toe. It wasn't so much a stub my toe, but I carried the chair over to the other side near the window, and I put the chair down on my own foot. I let out a little bit of a yelp. Not a huge amount. It wasn't enough to echo, because those stores are quite big and echoey, and it was just I suppose a little bit like a ferret sneeze, just like that. It's like, but probably a little bit louder, a little bit louder. But so I got my bags, which was really good. So I now keep them in that cupboard. The cupboard which is in my bathroom. So I have those two bags. What I do, because the bags are quite big and they take up quite a lot of space, I found this genius idea. Here's what I do. Because I've got two bags. You're not even going to believe this when I tell you. I should try and market this as some kind, but anyway. I fold up one of the bags and I put it inside the other bag. I only use up half the space. I was very pleased with myself. So, what else? Oh yeah, so I don't generally open that cupboard, but I do look in the mirror. It's not always to check for bogeys, but just to have a look, check myself out, make sure that everything's where it should be, But that's the main mirror. That's quite a big mirror. It's not technically my full height. But the mirror starts probably about my shins and goes up to my head. So it's quite cool. There's also 2 other mirrors, and that's in the bedroom cabinet. Not bedroom cabinet, kitchen cabinet. Not kitchen cabinet, bathroom cabinet. It's a cabinet. If it was in the kitchen, I suppose we'd call it a kitchen cabinet. If it was in a bedroom, it would be called a bedroom cabinet. If it was in a loft, it would be called a loft cabinet. If I kept it on my bicycle, it would be called a bicycle cabinet. If I had it on a hat, I suppose it would be a hat cabinet. I don't know. But it's in the bedroom. It's in the bathroom, sorry. And each door is a mirror. So there's 2 sliding mirrors. No, there isn't. There's 2 opening mirrors. 2 doors open, but there's a mirror in each door. And my dad's put that in when I first moved into my flat. And what that mirror is quite good for is to get more of a close-up of my face. Now I don't know why, but for some reason the lighting in the bathroom seems to shine brighter on the cupboard, under the bathroom thingy mirrors, rather than the big mirror. So what I do then is I go into the kitchen and I take my tablet. So I've got a tablet I take in the morning for my stomach. So I have like acid reflux stuff. So I take one tablet and I take it about an hour before I eat anything. I can eat after half an hour, but I leave it an hour normally. And what I might do is go back to bed. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Other times, well no, there's no other times, either I do or I don't. Other times I just walk halfway to the bed and sit on the floor. That's not real, it doesn't happen. But then if I do go back to bed for an hour or 2, because when I wake up, often it's a little bit early. I might have only been in bed for 4 or 5 hours. I'll have the tablet, go back to sleep for another few hours, get up, and then I go back to the toilet again. Because I've already had, before I go back to sleep, I always have a nice drink of water. So there's always something to empty my bladder with, or from. And I suppose one of the first things I do is I go and see Andre, see how he's doing. He'd normally be fast asleep. So I'll go and I'll floss and brush my teeth and use my mouthwash and wipe my face with my face wipes, brush my hair and then wash my hands and just, get myself fairly sorted. And then I'll go into the living room and I'll give Andre a big cuddle and let him out of the cage, let him do what he wants then for the rest of the day. I'll go and turn the laptop on and just have a quick look through the stats. So I start generally with the, SoundCloud stats for my podcast, my Spreaker stats, and then I go to the blogger where my website is, check out the stats there, go onto Facebook and Twitter, and then I'll just have a look around, see if anything needs to go in a bin or into the recycling thing, have a little tidy up. Sometimes I'll have a little scratch, if I have an itch I do scratch it, I'll be honest with you. And then I'll go stick the kettle on, but I'll empty the water if there's any water in the kettle, and have a little rinse out of the kettle, and then I'll put some water in, turn the kettle on, and I'll get a cup off the draining board and I get a bowl for my breakfast. At the moment I'm eating shreddies. I do alternate, sometimes I'll have muesli. So what I'll do is I'll put the coffee, I'll get the spoon I'm going to eat my breakfast with, and I use that to put the coffee into the cup. I get some sugar, I only have one sugar that goes into the cup, and then I get the milk out of the fridge. I put the shreddies into the bowl. By this time the kettle's normally boiled. I pour the boiling water into the cup and I stir that around until it's nice and sort of mixed together with the water and the coffee and the sugar, and then I pour milk in and I stir it again to make sure that it's nice and just a nice colour really. Not that the colour really makes that much difference because I'm drinking it. I'm not admiring it. It's not a work of art. I'm not going to be putting it into the Tate Gallery or anything like that. And then I pour the milk onto my breakfast cereal. And if it's sugar, I put a tablespoon of sugar onto the shreddies, and I put the milk away into the fridge, and then I'll carry it into the living room and I'll have my breakfast. What I quite like to do, I quite like to have a drink of coffee and then have a mouthful of breakfast. It's like a nice, warm, cosy, preliminary starter, and then the breakfast is the main meal. It's quite nice little mixture. And then as I'm doing that, I'll have the television on and I'll maybe watch the news or have a look, see what's on. Andre will often jump onto me wanting to share my breakfast, so I'll give him a couple of bits of shreddies. He takes one, and if it's hard he'll grab it and he'll run off and he'll eat it. If it's soft, sometimes he'll just eat it on me and just let it, so that he's still here for the next bit. And then when I've done that, I will take the bowl and the cup of coffee that I've finished, that I don't always finish it. Sometimes there's a little bit left, and I'll take that into the kitchen and put it into the water. Always got a bowl of water ready for to soak stuff. I don't mean underpants or socks. Just, cutlery and dishes and things like that. And then it gives me a start to the day. Then I'll get on and do whatever I'm gonna do, I guess. Just it really depends if I've got any kind of plans, because sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, but often I don't. But as I was saying earlier, there's lots of different routines I have, I suppose. But one of the main routines that I've been trying to do is every evening, when it's fairly quiet, I've been trying to make a recording each day. And in some ways, although the recordings do last an hour or so each, this is kind of the easy part, because after I've recorded it, then it's editing and it's uploading and to all the different podcasts and sharing it and making a video out of it, uploading that to YouTube and sharing it again and putting it onto my website and making pages, and so that takes a couple of hours of work. It's not really work, is it, I suppose? It's just stuff. So I hope you enjoyed my interesting routine of my day-to-day life, although there's a lot more that doesn't happen, that I've not pretended to talk about or attempted. I didn't get around to telling you the exact layout of the Iceland store. Maybe next time. So I'm going to go now. Hopefully you've drifted off, and I'll speak to you next time.